Well, hello again, it's Nico from Whorticulture. Welcome back to the third video, in case you didn't know what 3 looks like when I hold up my fingers, of our answering your questions from our recent Solar Fake tour. So let's get into it. And we're starting off with a question from Deborah on Facebook, and she asks, did they, which referring to Solar Fake, ever get their stuff here from England? Yes. I don't know how many of you heard the story, but we had a little bit of a rocky start to the tour. Their bags and specifically gear they need to play their show did not ship with them from Manchester over here to the US to start the show. So that was kind of a scary thing, but luckily Eric, being the tech guy that he is and being the overly prepared person that he is, we were able to put together a live rig for Solar Fake, just very kind of quickly and on the fly, that ended up working just fine, which was amazing. And we were able to play the show, even without the gear that they initially needed to play the show. So, as I've told many people, Eric is absolutely the MVP of the Solar Fake US tour. Not only was he fixing things, he helped to solve their live rig situation here in the US with completely different gear on the fly. He was the one knowing how to drive trailers and like back them up into tight spots and like parallel park stuff because of his production experience. Yeah, and he was also, of course, doing sound for everybody except for the openers, for us and for Solar Fake and for Matt Black. So he was doing a million things and he crushed it, and we would not have been able to do the tour without them. But yes, their bags and their gear did eventually come, but we had already solved the problem and already made it work. But yes, they were able to ship from Manchester, and I believe they got it in Baltimore finally. So that was good. We could use their stuff from then on out. So yes. Whew. Let's go to a lighter question, and that comes from Raz, or Rihanna, on Facebook. And she asks, what are your views on Discord? And would you like to have your own Discord server one day? And of course I say, I hate Discord and I hope no one ever makes us our own server for the band. Oh shit, we already have one. Damn it. By the way, join our Discord server. Thank you, Raz. Also on Instagram, we have Rockin' Goth Kitty. And they write, what's the best road trip snacks that are a must? Road trip snacks are very important. Let's see, generally, because we stopped at so many gas stations, we wanted to have enough snacks that would sort of keep us satiated through the van rides. So things that have protein are a really good idea. So anything with like beef jerky, for instance, is a really good one. Obviously it would suck for the vegan people, but that was a good one. What else is a good thing? You know what I found? It's not exactly a snack, but what turned out to be really good is I got these bulk electrolyte powders that you could just pour into bottled water, and that way we could stay hydrated, because I had a feeling we're probably going to be pretty dehydrated most of the time, and it turns out we were. So we would get a big pack of bottled water, and we would use these little electrolyte powder things and just pour them into the water, shake them up, and there we go. We got some actual like good potassium, sodium, and magnesium, and I think that helped us to stay a little more hydrated and feel a little bit better in the morning. So that to me was a must, and I would recommend it to anyone else who goes on tour. You can get a bulk on Amazon. What else? Was there any kind of other snacks beyond that? I couldn't tell you. I mean, obviously we had plenty of snacks and plenty of things we ate, but I don't think there's anything else that was essential. It's more about like trying to stay healthy if you can, which is real hard when gas stations are your main stop. Charlie13 on IG says, I don't really have a question. Just want to say, come to Germany, support our beloved dudes Solar Fake from Berlin. You rock. Well, thank you, Charlie. I appreciate it. You're right, that is not a question, but again, as before, we've had a lot of people ask us to come to Germany, and we would love to come to Germany. We will try to make that happen. I'm not really sure how at the moment, because it'd be very expensive, but we would love for that to happen. So maybe, hopefully, someday. Another Reset to Default on IG asks their question for stories about groupies, drugs, and rock and roll tour life. Obviously. Yes. there was not really much of any of that. Even if any people were the kind of people that wanted to partake of those kind of things, we didn't have any time at all ever for anything. But no, there were no groupies. Everyone was very respectful. Everyone was very nice. There's plenty of people that want to take pictures with Sven. And I helped facilitate some of those, as you people watching, you know, because some of you were those people that I helped facilitate those little meet and greets there for. But no drugs, really. No one really does that kind of stuff. We did have drinks, though, because we got free drink tickets at pretty much most venues. So we'd often have some ciders or, you know, whatever was on the tap or what the drink tickets would buy. Rock and roll, well, we played the shows, so I guess that's rock and roll. But yeah, not really much debauchery to be shared. We are not Motley Crue. We are not Def Leppard. Sorry about that. Not very fun. Another question from Raz. This is going to be on IG this time. Raz from the Discord. Hi again. What song did the audience enjoy more? That is a good question. I've noticed that everyone sort of seems to have the ones that resonate with them the most, and it's definitely interesting when you have an audience that is more cold, doesn't know, not cold as in like emotionally, cold as in they are not aware of your stuff. Most people were not aware of our material. So it was interesting to see what people responded to live every time. And I noticed that most often it was the last two songs in our set, and that would be Crucify and Necessary Endings. Now, it's very easy for those songs to be more recognizable because A, Crucify is a cover song, so a lot of people recognize that as being Tori Amos, and they would come up to me at the end at the merch booth and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe you covered Tori Amos. It takes me back to my high school when I used to listen to her in my room," and blah, 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 which was really cool. I was like, awesome. And the other one was because it was the last song, and we always encourage people to dance on that one, to get everyone involved, because hey, it's our final song before Solar Fake comes on. Let's hype you up, let's have fun together. So we had a lot of people that would come up and say, "Hey, what was that last song you guys did?" And of course, was Necessary Endings. So those two seem to stand out the most, but there's plenty of people that seem to enjoy The Lesson, seem to enjoy Benefits of Torture, Cut Myself, etc. So also on IG, is it EA Clay? Or is it Eclay? Obviously, the state of live music is rough right now. How do you feel about the future of touring for smaller alternative bands and artists? Are you hopeful about the immediate future? Why or why not? Ooh, nice. We get more of a philosophical question. Let me drink. Philosophy. I couldn't tell you what the state of live music is for other bands. I am not those bands. I can only tell you how it was for us. And what we experienced, I think overall was really good. There's plenty of places across the US where things are very healthy, or at least feel very healthy, where people are showing up, they're having fun, they're participating in live music and supporting bands. And there's some other smaller pockets in certain places where people are maybe less comfortable or just aren't doing it as much now, and that's okay. I feel, at least in some ways, that's normal-ish. I can mostly go by Denver because I know what it's like to go to local shows there and play local shows there. And as I said, this is our very first tour ever, so I don't have anything to compare it to. I don't have some sort of comparison, but like pre-COVID to look at. But you know, Denver seems pretty back to normal. But I can't speak for every city and all that. And am I optimistic for the future? Yeah, absolutely. I'm not pessimistic in the slightest. We had a great time on the tour. There was a lot of wonderful people there that came out to support Solar Fake. And yeah, it was great to meet a lot of people. It was a real positive experience. And I look forward to doing it again in the future. And because she would probably be bummed if I didn't read her question, part of me is slightly awkward reading it, but from my partner, Gwen. How do you two juggle being so sexy and so talented simultaneously? Thank you. In all seriousness, though, the more details, the better. I'm sure people would love to hear about the other musicians, logistics of travel and setup, tips on what to do, what not to do to make it through something like that in one piece. That is a good question. I'm gonna go ahead and skip the beginning, if you don't mind, but thank you, sweetie. Yeah, as I said before, the highlight for me was working with the other musicians on the tour. Everybody, really. But meeting Sven and Jeans, amazing people. Meeting everybody in Matt Black, Biddy, Daniel, Alex, all fucking good people, funny people, talented people. It was an actual privilege for us both, Eric and I. We loved it. Great people. And tips on being able to make it through things like this. Sleep as much as you possibly can. Bring a neck pillow, bring an eye mask, bring earplugs, whatever it takes for you to be able to sleep on the van, because you're gonna need to catch up on sleep. Also, whatever it takes for you to sleep in the hotel rooms that you're gonna be at or wherever you're gonna stay. Again, all those things come into handy that I just said. In addition, maybe bring some melatonin or some other sleep aid that helps. Yeah, you want to try to stay healthy as possible. So I talked about electrolytes earlier, stay up on those, bring vitamins with you, sleep a lot, again, always the sleep. And we got Nina on Facebook. Hello, Nina. Thank you for coming out to the show. Good to meet you. And Nina asks, what surprised you or impressed you the most? Example, places, crowds, collaboration with Cami, Solar Fake, Matt Black, and also any future plans, as in concerts, new songs. So a good one to end on. What surprised or impressed you the most? Wow. Again, the people that I got to work with. Everyone was amazing. Everyone was a professional. We all got along amazingly. As I said, Matt Black was amazing. Cami was great. Fernando was great. Of course, the thing that really stood out to me, because I'd never met them before, was Solar Fake. And just, I know I've said it many times, but what great human beings they are. Just good people. And I think it's important to say that because as a musician, I know what it's like to work with other fucking musicians and other bands. And you don't always get that. And I'm assuming a lot of you out there know what I'm talking about. You know, there are great people, of course, that are artists and writers and musicians and performers and comedians and all that, but there's also a lot of shitty people who are not fun to be around. And I was just so relieved and so happy that Jeans and Sven were such great people to be around, to talk to hang out with, and of course, amazing musicians and songwriters and performers. So that was what impressed me most, was the people and the relationships and how well we all got along. And future plans. Yes, well, let's see. Depending on when this video comes out and when I choose to fucking edit it, because I'm still tired, we have a show with Aesthetic Perfection coming up in Denver on October 28th. So I hope that anyone who is in Denver comes to see that show, because that's going to be fucking amazing. They, of course, are one of our heroes. So it's another thing after being on tour with a band as amazing as Solar Fake. Now we're going to be playing with Aesthetic Perfection. This year has been blowing my mind. Doesn't feel real. It's cool. And hopefully it's announced by this time. Otherwise, I'll have to cut out this part. In November 26th, we are opening up for another band that has been a big influence for us here in Denver. One of the bands I remember seeing right out of high school and being so impressed with. We're opening for Seraphim Shock. So it's another really personal show for Eric and I. Just amazing. And then I think we're gonna be taking some time off to actually work on new music. Which was the other question. New music on the way? Yes. We have new music in the works. We've had new music in the works for over a year, but we had to put that on the back burner to prepare for the Solar Fake tour. But now that that's over and we're down to just a few Denver shows, we're gonna make that the priority. We look forward to releasing a new single, and I'm not gonna give a timeline because I know how that one works. We're both busy, so. At a point in time and space, a new single will be out the next handful of months-ish. And look forward to showing you that and talking more about that new music, but now is not the time for that. But hope you enjoyed hearing some of the answers and talking about the questions that you yourself left for us on social media. I enjoyed talking about it, and I'm nostalgic already. I'm kind of sad. There are wonderful things on the horizon, and I can't wait to tell you about them, but we'll talk another time. Take care of yourself, and we'll talk to you later. Goodbye.